hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, last month, Gracie sold the Burns house, and ever since she's been looking desperately for an apartment. We now find George on a park bench waiting for Gracie to meet him and make her daily report.
Well, this is great. She was supposed to meet me at 12 o'clock, and it's already past 2. Of all the...
Hello, sweetheart. Am I late?
You certainly are.
Well, that clears that up. You know, when I heard the clock strike 2, I couldn't decide whether I was 2 hours late or 10 hours early.
I'm glad I cleared it up. Did you find an apartment?
No.
That's fine. Still no place to live.
Oh, now, George. You've got nothing to worry about. Remember, you're married to an Allen.
Believe me, that's something to worry about.
No, I mean, we Allens stick together. You and I can move in with any one of my relatives. For example, my brother Willie.
Willie? Is that the tall brother?
No, he's the short one. He just seems tall because he's got high blood pressure.
Well, that'll do it, I guess.
If we move in with him, we can sleep in his bed.
Well, doesn't he use it?
No, he sleeps on the floor, so his blood pressure will be lower.
Well, that's a bright boy.
You know, there's only one drawback to moving in with Willie. We might have to change buses to get from his house to NBC.
Where does he live?
New Jersey.
Well, wouldn't skates be quicker?
Well, if you'd rather, we can move in with my sister Bessie. She lives much closer, in Ohio.
She's practically next door.
Oh, Bessie would love to have us because she's so lonesome. Of course, it's her own fault, that silly girl. 40 years old and still looking for a husband.
Well, what's silly about that?
Well, she ought to look for a single man. Husbands are all married.
Well, let's forget Bessie and find a place to live.
See, Mama had a good idea. She said she didn't have any room herself, but she suggested that I go to my cousin Ruth's in Glendale.
Well, what would I do? Didn't your mother suggest any place for me to go?
Yeah, but you wouldn't like it.
I guess not.
Well, you can't even stand the heat in Los Angeles.
Yeah, your mother really loves me. Now, listen, Gracie, you sold our house, and it's up to you to find an apartment.
But there aren't any.
Well, then find us a couple of rooms. I'll meet you back here at 4 o'clock, and I want you to have those rooms.
Yes, dear.
And don't be late. Keep your eye on your watch.
Yeah. Oh, I sent my watch back to the factory to have it repaired. Something was wrong with the hands.
The hand?
One of them was shorter than the other.
Well, get back here on time and have those rooms. Well, congratulations. You're only an hour late this time. Did you have any luck?
Yes, I found us 2 big rooms.
2 big rooms? Well, wonderful. Where are they?
Well, mine is in the YWCA, and yours is in the YMCA.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, what's wrong?
What's wrong? Well, honey, you'll be clear over on one side of town, and I'll be on the other. Don't you see what a difference that will make in our lives?
Oh. We'll have to vote in different districts, huh?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Gracie, we're married, remember?
Oh, not at the YWCA. I told them I was single to get the room.
You're murder.
Well, good day, Mr. Nicky Burns.
Oh, hello, Mr. Postman.
Isn't it lovely here in the park?
No, it isn't.
You seem unhappy, Mr. Burns.
I am unhappy. How would you like to live 10 blocks away from your wife?
I wouldn't like it.
Of course not.
It's much too close.
Well, you see, Mr. Postman, We had no place to live, so I got George a room at the YMCA and myself a room at the YWCA.
Sounds pretty dull, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I have a suggestion that would liven things up.
What is it?
Switch rooms.
Don't be silly. You expect me to stay in the same building with a bunch of girls and... Hey, that wouldn't be...
George! Well, just forget that idea, Mr. Postman. I certainly wouldn't want to live in the same building with a bunch of big, brawny, athletic men and... Hey, that was... Sorry.
You'll find the YMCA a splendid place to get in physical condition, Mr. Burns. It's my daily workouts there that have made me the superb specimen of virile masculinity you see before you. The Superman of the civil service.
You work out at the Y every day, huh?
Oh, yes. Swimming, diving, running, jumping, boxing, wrestling, weightlifting. When I leave there, I'm just like an ox.
Gee.
And I go home and my wife slaughters me.
George, we better hurry and register before we lose our rooms. We'll meet back here in an hour.
Okay.
The YMCA is that big building on Hudson Street. The sign outside says young man, but don't let that confuse you. Go right in.
See you back here in an hour.
Care to walk over to the YWCA with me, Mr. Postman?
Oh, I'd better not. If all those young girls see me, it'll just make them discontented with Van Johnson. Oh, goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
How do you do? I arranged for a room here.
Very well. Is your form filled out?
Well, it must be. I get whistled at a lot.
I refer to this printed form that all our young ladies fill out. I'll help you. Name?
Gracie Allen.
Allen Gracie.
No, Gracie Allen. Allen Gracie sounds like a man.
On our records, you'll be listed as Allen Gracie.
Oh, okay. But it won't fool anybody.
And now your birthday, please.
April 16th.
What year?
It's April 16th every year. You know, I'm not one of those girls who skips birthdays because she's ashamed of the candles on her cake. I'm proud of my 18 candles. And have been for years.
Miss Allen, I must write down the year you were born. For example, if you were 18, you would have been born in 1929.
Oh, that's close enough.
You look older.
Well, 1929 was the year of the crash. I aged very quickly.
Are you an American citizen?
Yes.
Mother and father?
No, I'm neither one.
Let's discontinue the question. You seem to be an innocent, naive child, Miss Allen. I can see you're going to need my special guidance and protection. Especially must I protect you from members of the opposite, gender.
Gender?
The opposite, SPX.
Oh, sex! Oh!
Just to spend your evenings in one of our vocation study classes. Basket weaving, bookbinding, glass blowing. They're all jolly fun.
Well, I kind of figured on spending my evenings with George. He likes to cuddle.
Please, my child. May I suggest basket weaving?
I think George would rather cuddle.
George sounds like a man of the world. A man a girl wouldn't be safe with.
Would you like to meet him?
I'll say. I would like to warn him to stay away from you.
Oh, but I like George, and I don't want him to stay away from me.
Then I'll have to have a note from your mother.
My mother?
Yes, a note stating that she approves of George and wholeheartedly recommends him.
He is cute.
Bring it as soon as you can. Have your mother tell me just what she thinks of George.
Well, I'll have you know my mother doesn't use that kind of language.
No note, no date.
Well, I'll do my best.
A note from your mother saying she approves of me?
Yes, we've got to get one before you can call on me at the YWCA.
But your mother despises me.
I know. Say, would a note from my father work just as well?
Sure. Can you get one?
No, he despises you too.
Fine. Do any of your relatives approve of me?
Oh, yes, my Uncle Fred. He thinks you're the greatest man in the world. He thinks you're a genius.
Well, then he can write the note.
No.
Why not?
Well, they won't let him have anything sharp.
Well, we got to do something. They won't let you out at night and won't let me in. Fine situation for a husband and wife.
Say, George, I've got a wonderful idea. We'll have Meredith Wilson pose as my father and say he approves of you.
Oh, no, not Meredith. He hasn't got sense enough to come in out of the rain.
Oh, George, that's not a very nice thing to say. It's not a nice thing to say about a man who just got over pneumonia.
Oh, he did come in out of the rain, huh?
Well, forget it.
But it's our only chance. And it's so simple he can't mess it up. All he has to do is say he's my father and he approves of George Burns calling on his daughter.
Well, maybe you're right. A moron could do that.
Well, sure, let's go get Meredith.
Just Molly and me and baby makes three. We're happy in my blue heaven. Songs about home, I guess we'll always have them, Meredith.
Well, why not, Bill? We always have been a mighty home-loving nation. And if that rose-covered cottage we sing about is still in the dream stage for lots of folks, well, it's a pretty nice dream at that. A big part of the American story, the American promise.
A promise we'll always believe in, Meredith. For it's a deep-rooted expression of the faith, the hope, and the optimism that belong so eternally to this, our American theme.
Now, have you got it all straight, Meredith?
I believe so, Gracie. I'm to approach the lady at the desk and tell her that I'm your father.
Yeah, that's right. You don't mind telling a little white lie, do you?
Oh, not at all. Back in Iowa, we have an old saying, a white lie is like a one-legged chicken.
Well, what does that mean?
Never could figure it out myself. Well, let's go in. You coming, George?
No, I think I'll be safer out here. A white lie is like a one-legged chicken.
Now, remember, Meredith, I'm not using my married name here.
Oh, never fear. I won't blunder.
Well, I'm back, Miss Conrad.
Oh, yes, you're the girl who registered today. Your name is...
Alan?
That's right, Alan Gracie.
Yes, and I am her father, Herman Gracie.
You mean Herman Allen?
Yes, Herman Allen Gracie. Or as my friends call me, H.A.G. I'm pleased to meet you, Miss Honrath.
Just a minute. Is your name Alan or Gracie?
Gracie.
That's his married name. His maiden name is Allen.
His maiden name?
Mm-hmm. So that's why my last name is Allen. He named me before he met my mother.
Yes.
You mean you have a stepmother?
Would that explain things?
Yes.
I have a stepmother.
I'd never heard of a man taking a woman's name.
Well, that's an old custom back in, England.
Oh, your father's British.
Yes, yes. Say something to her in British, Daddy.
Pleased to meet you, Miss Honrath. Old fruit.
Well, enough about us, Daddy. Tell Miss Honrath about George Burns.
Oh, yes. George Burns is interested in my daughter. He's a gentleman of good family, excellent character, and faultless manners. And I would appreciate it if you would let them next.
Next?
Yes. Well, I must be tipping off. Pop, all.
So, Miss Honrath says we can see each other only if she chaperones us. She'll be in just a minute.
I knew Meredith would mess it up.
Well, Miss Honrath will make sure our conversation is proper. We can't talk about anything risque like flowers.
What's risque about flowers?
Well, haven't you heard about the shameless way they carry on with the bees?
Yeah, those naughty bees and flowers. What does Miss Honrath want me to talk about? Women's hats?
Oh, no. That might lead to something risque, too.
How?
Well, women's hats have feathers.
Yeah?
Feathers come from birds.
So?
Storks bring babies.
Risque. This is going to be great.
Oh, and there are a few more rules to remember. When Miss Honrath comes in, she'll smell your breath.
Well, that's chummy.
And if she detects anything stronger than 6-Up, out you go.
Don't you mean 7-Up?
No, that's too strong.
The old girl must have a nose like a bloodhound.
Oh, yes, it's marvelous. A man can't fool her by chewing sen. She can smell between the sens.
What a talent. Anything else?
Now, I guess that's about... Uh-oh. Here she comes.
Well, here I am, Miss Allen. Now, where is this impetuous, red-blooded young man that I must stay here and protect you from?
This is the man.
This?
Yeah.
Well, I'm here. I'll stay anyway.
Thanks.
Be seated, please. Now, Mr. Burns, when you look at Miss Allen, be careful that your gaze never sinks below her chin.
I'll watch it.
And remember, if at any time your conversation exceeds the limits of propriety, I will interrupt you by saying stop. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Commence talking.
Been working hard, Mr. Burns?
Yeah, I was at my desk all morning.
Stop!
What'd I say?
You said desk, and you know what a desk has.
Yes, drawers.
Excuse me, girls. I'm going to make a phone call. Thanks for coming, Bill. You sure got here in a hurry.
Listen, George, when I get a call to come to the YWCA, I don't fool around.
Why did you bring that baseball bat?
Are you kidding? This place is loaded with women. I gotta have protection.
Well, look, boy. Here's what I want you to do. See that woman sitting over there with Gracie?
Yeah?
I want you to turn your charm on her and get her out of here so that Gracie and I can be alone. Now put down your baseball bat and go to work on her.
Oh, fine. I'm gonna put down one bat and pick up another.
Come on, I'll introduce you. Well, I'm back, Miss Honrath, and there's someone I'd like you to meet.
Very well. I was just telling Miss Allen how careful we are here. We keep a list of all the wolves in Hollywood, and I've memorized it.
Uh-oh.
I know every wolf by name. Now then, young man, what is your name?
Oh, Goodbody. J. Sweet Pants Goodbody.
I thought Fearless Fosdick knocked you off.
Sweet Pants, this is our chaperone, Miss Hanna.
Chaperone? Why, Miss Honrath, you're much too young and pretty to be a chaperone. It is you who should be chaperoned, lest your bewitching beauty drive some man mad with desire.
When you say that, I'm reduced to a mass of quivering flesh.
Reduced, she said.
Bill, please, I counted on you to get this old hippo out of here.
Oh, Hippo! You leave at once, you petrified playboy.
If this petrified playboy leaves, I go with him. Come, George.
Miss Allen, you can't leave with this man. What would you do if he took you to a dark place and made love to you?
I'd take him to a light place to make sure it was George.
Well, here we are, stuck on a park bench for the night like a couple of tramps. And why? All because you sold our house to Frank Fuller.
Oh, it's nice here in the park. Look at all those stars up there in the sky. So bright and so cleverly arranged. You know, I never noticed before that they spell out Coca-Cola.
You're looking at an electric sign.
Oh. I love staying out of doors with you like this. It makes me feel like Tarzan's mate. Tarzan's mate.
I heard you the first time. That was an owl up in the tree.
Oh. You're just like Tarzan, George.
Oh, stop. Tarzan can whip a gorilla with his hands tied behind him.
Well, so could you, if you found a gorilla with his hands tied behind him.
Yeah.
That's why I think of myself as Tarzan's mate. Tarzan's mate.
That was the owl again.
Nosy, isn't he?
Yeah, nosy owl.
Well, you don't sound very happy, dear.
I'm not happy.
Well, you certainly have changed. During our courtship, you wanted to take me in the park every night.
Gracie.
You never wanted to go to a movie, even when it was my turn to pay.
Okay, I've changed.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have married you. Maybe I should have married Eddie Mulligan.
Who?
Where's that nosy owl again?
That was me. Who was it you should have married?
Eddie Mulligan. Eddie Mulligan.
That was the owl.
Now. That was the fellow who had the filling station.
I meant it was the owl who said who.
I thought you said it.
I said it the first time. Me.
That was the owl.
Oh, for Pete's sake, spread the newspaper out on the bench and let's get some rest.
Yes, dear.
Lucky Frank Fuller. Got a comfortable house to sleep in. Our house. Which you practically gave him for $15,000.
Oh, George, listen to this ad here in the paper. And moving east and must sacrifice house for $14,995. If interested, call Frank Muller.
Hey, that's our house. We can buy it back.
Oh, sure, for $5 less than Mr. Fuller gave us.
I'll be done.
Well, I'm a pretty smart businesswoman. All we had to do was go without a place to sleep for a month, and we made $5.
If that's smart business, one of us is crazy.
Ooh.